Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Big T. Today I'm going to be showing you how to do the tomb Easter egg solo. No families, no loved ones, you don't need anybody. I'm going to show you the best way to do it, and I'm going to show you some specific things to do that these big guides don't show you how to do. Now before we hop in, I would definitely recommend running the ASG 89 shotgun. It is the best gun in the game. It is so good for not only killing zombies, but it is amazing in the boss fight. For your field upgrades, you can't really go wrong with either the Frenzied Guard or Aether Shroud. However, in my game, I did opt to use Frenzied Guard. For the equipment, I would use decoys and semtexes. And then two important augments that I would definitely run is Dying Wish for quick revive and Free Faller for stamina. And then finally for the Gobblegum, I would run your best shit. So I ran Perkaholic, Hidden Power, Idolize, very good for the boss fight, same with Free Fire. And then you could run a double points just to get past the early rounds. That's what I did in my game. However, opt whatever you want to do. I would just recommend running your best stuff because this is one of the hardest boss fights in Zombies history. The first step of the Easter egg is to build the ice staff, and you cannot actually start it until you get to round 8. So what I'll do on these low rounds is turn on the Rampage Inducer and just build up as much points as you can possibly get. On round 8, there's going to be a shock mimic that's going to spawn in the map, and upon killing it, it's going to drop a monocle. Pick up that monocle, and that's going to be the first part of the ice staff. Now there's two walls that you want to look for. The first one's going to be on the left side of the wall, and it's going to be in the tombs, this wall right here, and the second one is going to be on the right side of spawn in the Neolithic Catacombs. Head over to the back of the map or the Subterranean Temple and interact with this to open up Pack-a-Punch. Upon doing this, there's going to be 5 crystals that are going to spawn in the map, and they're going to be hanging from the ceiling. What you need to do is you need to shoot these lanterns until you get one of them to spawn by the wall that I was showing you guys earlier. The best way to do this is to shoot whichever lantern is closest to the wall, because that is the best chance of spawning in the right spot you need it to spawn into. In my game, I did the wall by the Neolithic Catacombs. Let me point out, when you do shoot the crystals, it does take about 30 seconds for it to move to a different location. But as you see, once it moves to a different location, a bunch of lights are going to show up on the wall. I would suggest doing this for both locations before you mess with these lights. Starting at the tombs, you're going to want to shoot these lights in order from 1 to 8. These numbers are going to be in Roman numerals, and the order of the lights are going to be different in each game. So make sure you're not just following the order that I'm shooting at the wall. If you do mess up, you can just pick right back up after a couple seconds. No stress, as long as you can shoot it from 1 to 8. If done correctly, there's going to be a mini lockdown step that you have to do. All you got to do is just kill whatever zombies that spawn in, and once you do that, the wall will open up and you'll be able to pick up your second ice staff part. Now you want to rinse and repeat the same step at the other wall in the Neolithic Catacombs. Instead of shooting up to Roman numeral 8 this time, you're going to shoot up to Roman numeral 10, and you're just going to do the same lockdown step as before. After doing it, you're going to get not only a max ammo, but you're going to get that sweet third ice staff part. With all 3 parts, you're going to head over to the shrine in the Dark Aether. I would highly suggest pack-a-punching before you do this. But what you're going to do is you're going to take your 3 parts, you're just going to hold interact on the shrine, and what's going to happen is it's going to start the defense step. Now you got to defend the ice staff from all the zombies that spawn in. There's going to be a lot of zombies that spawn in. You see the health bar on the left side of your screen. The best part about this step though is if you end up failing, you can do it again the next round and you save your progress. After defending this dumbass staff for about a minute, you're going to be able to interact with the staff, and what it's going to do is it's going to finally build. You're going to finally be able to grab the ice staff, and you're on to the next step. This next step is very tedious and has been misinterpreted a lot, so I'm going to explain it to you guys the best possible way I can. What you got to do is you got to shoot 3 of these crystal lanterns in 10 seconds. And in the top right, I gave y'all a little guide of where these crystals spawn. There's going to be 1 crystal in each of these regions. You're going to want to shoot these crystals until you can line them up good enough to where you have a straight route where you can shoot all 3 of them with your ice staff in 10 seconds. So here, I pull my ice staff out, boom, I get the first one, pull out my knife, start running, second one, boom, and then I have the third one lined up right here. I'm going to miss the first shot, miss the second shot, but I'm going to hit the third shot, and you'll know you'll do it right when Archibald tells you you extinguished the flames. If you do fail this step, no worries. You can just reset it in the same round. Just shoot the crystals that you froze and just redo it until you get it. I know it can be annoying, but zombies is about perseverance, so get it done. For the next step, you're going to want to go to the Dark Aether, and you're going to notice all these blue kind of shaded rocks floating around. 3 of them are going to have a symbol on it, and what you want to do is you want to shoot this symbol with the ice staff. Once you shoot it with the ice staff, it'll drop down and you'll be able to see what the symbol is. You'll know you've shot it if it starts moving and if you get a hit marker. Once you shoot your third symbol, Archibald is going to talk to you. He's going to tell you to look around. So what you want to do is you want to go back to these 3 symbols and note down which symbols you have. I'd highly suggest taking a picture of them on your phone. I'm being serious because these symbols are very weird and hard to remember. Now you want to go back to spawn, but before you go back to spawn, you want to look around and find which one of the 4 gates is closed. Head back to the overworld and you're going to notice that gate that was closed in the Dark Aether is also closed in the overworld. And what you want to do is you want to shoot in the 3 symbols that you got from the Dark Aether into this portal. Here's the tedious thing about this step though. Whether you do this right or wrong, the portal is going to open up and you're not going to know if you got it wrong until you enter the portal. And if you do it correctly, an island's going to spawn. But I'm going to show you in my game, if it's not, there's going to be no island and you're going to fall to your death. However, if you listened to me earlier, and if you put on the augment where you can't take any fall damage, you're not going to die. Having this augment is a huge crutch because it gives you an ability to redo this step without taking it down. Now, if you do this correctly, you're going to be teleported in, and there's going to be an island under you, and there's also going to be a purple orb. Interact with the purple orb, and it's going to start a moving soul box step. As long as you're properly set up, this step shouldn't be too hard. All you gotta do is follow the orb around and shoot the zombies that spawn in. If you shoot the ones that come out of the portal right away, it makes it even easier. This is where I would suggest using my field upgrades and just using every possible resource I have to make sure I get this. If you get it wrong, you just have to go back and shoot the symbols in the same order in the next round. After following around the orb and killing stuff for a minute, it's going to finally come to the statue in the middle. It's going to flash white. What you want to do here is pull out your ice staff and interact with this orb that just went inside. Once you do this, you'll get the ice graded staff, and now we're really talking. This next step is 4 challenges that we have to do, and all of them start relatively the same. You're going to want to take your ice staff, and with the healing ability, you're going to come up to the statue and shoot the bottom, interact with it to grab this crystal. Head back to spawn, and you're going to notice this statue is also going to be lit up. This is going to start the Vermin challenge. All you got to do for the Vermin challenge is just kill all the vermin that spawn in. Now this step is really easy if you just use the upgraded ice staff ability. Just spam it on the floor. The range is ridiculous. Do this with some urgency because there is a time limit, but once you do it, your screen's going to flash white. You want to come over and pick up the orb that it drops, and you're going to want to take it back to the original statue without getting hit. You can take about 4 or 5 hits, but what you're going to notice is that the portal right next to where you do the challenge is going to be sealed off. Keep that in consideration before grabbing this orb when you do the challenge so that you know the right route to take to get to a different portal. As long as you don't get hit enough and you interact with this, you're going to be done with your first challenge. You know you'll be done when this beam goes up to the rock and just beams into it. The second challenge is going to be the Parasite challenge, and it's going to be to the right of where we did the Vermin challenge. Same way to start it, just pull out the healing ability, shoot the bottom symbol, and grab the crystal. This statue in the overworld is going to be in the Shrine of the Hierophants, and this one, in my opinion, is the hardest one. You have 1 minute and 30 seconds to shoot as much parasites as possible, and when you shoot these parasites, some of them will drop this purple orb, and you're just gonna walk over it and take it and walk it back. You don't need to interact with anything. You just gotta walk over it, walk it back. You gotta do 10 in 90 seconds, so make sure you're absolutely dialed in. Side note, if you fail any of these challenges, all you gotta do is pass around and just go back to the statue in the overworld, interact with it, try it again. Just like the last one, the closest portal is gonna be sealed off, so make sure you accordingly route to another portal and place it back where you found it. Our next challenge is going to be the Doppleghast challenge. It's going to be right across from where we started our last challenge. Same thing to start it, hit it with the health ability, grab the flame, take it to this statue right here. And this is very similar to the first challenge where all you have to do is kill the Doppleghast. However, there's going to be a purple beam that's firing from the statue, and there's also going to be these purple Doppleghast circle things. Don't be stupid, don't jump in them, use your upgraded ice staff. This thing kills these Doppleghast, so just use that to your advantage. Once again, once you do the challenge, don't get hit, take it back to where you found it, and we'll be on the 4th and final challenge. This one's going to be right across from the Doppleghast one we just did. As always, pull out the healing ability, shoot the bottom, grab the crystal, you already know the deal. take it to the deep excavation by the back of the map, and you're going to interact with the Amalgom statue. It's going to spawn in a high value Amalgom. It's just going to be an Amalgom with more health. For just like the other challenge, the ice staff completely melts this thing. It is going to latch on to other zombies, but all you gotta do is kill the zombies that it latches onto. It's gonna break its shield, and you're gonna be able to kill it. Once you kill it, go up to the flame, and you're gonna escort it back to the statue for the 4th time. You already know the drill. Take the other portal, you know, avoid the zombies. Once you put it in, all 4 beams are gonna redirect at this rock, and then another beam is going to spawn in by this gate right here. What you want to do is interact with this, and it's going to build this bridge. If you walk across this bridge and go up to the Sentinel artifact, you can start the boss fight. But wait! In my opinion, this is the hardest boss fight in this game. You're going to want to make sure you're absolutely set up. And what I mean by absolutely set up, tier 3 legendary pack-a-punched ASG or whatever gun you got. Load up on Gobblegums, grab a mutant ejection, buy Casimir grenades, make sure you have all the perks, you know, maybe not the melee one because it sucks. Just make sure you're absolutely ready. Once you're set up like I am, start the final encounter, and here's what's going to happen. These first few steps are pretty easy. I'd like to think of it as the first half of the boss fight, and what's going to happen is the Sentinel artifact is going to start growing red, and it's going to be immune. You have to wait for the Sentinel artifact to target one of the 4 statues, and it's going to become unimmune. In order to time up this perfectly, what you want to do is the Sentinel artifact is going to start at the lower level, then it's going to go up, then it's going to go down, and then it's going to go up. And once it goes up for the 2nd time, that's when it's about to lock onto a statue. So if you know how to time this right, you can make this step even easier, and I'm going to show you what I mean in a second. Once a Sentinel artifact is up for the 2nd time, it's going to target a statue, and what you want to do is you want to absolutely lay in all of your bullet gun ammo into this. I will warn you, when I tried this for the first time, the ray gun did not do any damage, neither did any explosive weapon. So make sure you have a bullet weapon. If you get enough damage into the Sentinel artifact, a max ammo will spawn. If you don't get it, just wait for it to become unimmune again, lay into it until you do it. After doing that, now 2 Sentinel artifacts are going to spawn, and it's going to do the same thing. It's going to go down, up, down, up. Once it goes up for the 2nd time, it's going to lock into the statues, and you're going to be able to shoot the 2 Sentinel artifacts. I highly suggest camping out in this spot where I'm at for the early rounds, just, you know, building up armor plates, using your upgraded staff to make sure none of the zombies hit you. The lower level is definitely the way to go when you're playing solo. You're going to do the same thing you did in the first step when shooting the Sentinel artifact. Instead, you just got to shoot 2 this time. If you have a fully pack-a-punch ASG, this should be pretty easy to do in just 1 shot. After destroying the 2 Sentinel artifacts, now there's going to be 4 Sentinel artifacts, and you're going to do the same thing. You're going to wait for it to go up, and once it goes up, locks into the statues, you're going to shoot one of the Sentinel artifacts. However, when you shoot this first one, the other 3 are going to be immune, and now starts the hard part of the boss. There's going to be a zombie with a Sentinel artifact in it, and you're going to want to track it down. In my opinion, the best way to melt the zombie is to use your upgraded ice staff, and you're just going to want to melt it until it dies. And once it dies, it's going to drop the Sentinel artifact, and once again, you're going to be able to shoot it. Shoot it until it breaks. If you don't get it on the first try, another zombie with the Sentinel artifact is going to spawn. Just kill it, do the same thing until you're able to break the Sentinel artifact. After you do the zombie with the Sentinel artifact, now you're going to have to do a Doppleghast with the Sentinel artifact in it. You just got to do the same thing you did with the zombie, kill the Doppleghast, shoot the Sentinel artifact that it drops. If you don't get it the first time, get it the 2nd time. After the Doppleghast, now there's going to be a Mimic with the Sentinel artifact in it. This one is easily the most annoying one, which is why I popped my Idolize. This Mimic can stun you and do a shit ton of health, so I would definitely use Idolize if you got it here. Use all your resources at this point, because now it's going to get really hard. As you see, with Idolize, I'm able to kill it and shoot the Sentinel artifact in 1 go. This is easily one of the best Gobblegums to use for this Easter egg for that sole purpose. For the last one, and certainly the hardest one, is going to be the Amalgom. There's going to be an Amalgom with the Sentinel artifact chasing after you, as well as a Doppelghast and a Shock Mimic, but you only want to kill the Amalgom. However, it benefits you a lot if you kill these other 2, because the Shock Mimic does a fuck ton of damage. You want to get that out of the way if you possibly can, and I'm going to show you why. For some dumb fuck reason, this Mimic can grab you and take all of your shield, and you're going to see in my game, I literally get into Dying Wish so fast, which is why you gotta run it, and this guy is grilling my shit even when I'm using my field upgrade. When this shock mimic gets his stupid, greasy, grubby hands on you, there's literally no escape. My best recommendations, use Idolize to kill this shock mimic or your Casimirs. I tried to use one here. I go down. I get really frustrated. However, this is no time to die. If you're able to kill the shock mimic, this makes it way easier to target the Amalgom and target that Sentinel artifact. And once you're able to shoot that Sentinel artifact like you did for all the other ones, all the Sentinel artifacts are going to form up in the middle. Now make your way to the top of the map by this area with the wall, and these Sentinel artifacts are all going to beam the Sentinel artifact into this wall. And what you got to do is you got to focus all of your fire onto this. I would suggest shooting down an Ice Staff upgraded shot before you do this. Just go absolutely haywire on this Sentinel artifact, because this is the last step. Once you do it, boom, you're done with the boss fight. All you have to do after this is go up to the Sentinel artifact in the middle, grab it, and you're done. Thank y'all for watching. If y'all got any questions, let me know in the comments. I hope this guide served you well. Make sure to like, subscribe, share with a friend. And as always, take it easy.